Hello, you got me? Okay, check 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Tonight at 10, the safeguards the FBI says are in place for November's midterm elections and why any hacking efforts will likely not cause any big disruptions.
Yeah. The Soldiers Field Golf Course will continue to be 18 holes for now. I'm KIMT News 3's Alec Lasham with the latest from the Rochester Park Board meeting.
Plus, Minnesota's Republican gubernatorial nominee is facing some heat after repeating a false claim about kids using litter boxes in schools if they identify as a furry. How his campaign is responding.
And we saw some pretty nice weather across the area today, but I'm tracking some rain building in here for tonight into your Wednesday. I'll let you know how much rainfall to expect coming up.
KIMT News 3, coverage you can count on. This is KIMT News 3 at 10.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight for KIMT News 3 at 10. I'm Tyler Utzka. And first tonight, the Rochester Park Board adopts the Soldiers Field Memorial Park Master Plan and the one for Silver Lake Park at tonight's meeting. KIMT News 3's Alec Lasham was there for the decision. And Alec, what's next for the Rochester parks?
Well, Tyler, both of these master plans kick off the process of adding new aquatic features to the respective parks, as well as improving and expanding trails. The Park Board approved a 3-year master plan for Soldiers Field, which largely leaves the 18-hole golf course untouched. The plan will also double the size of Soldiers Field pool area to 80,000 square feet. The city plans to add more water features like a lazy river, lap pool, and more. However, the Park Board added a condition to the plan's approval. Board members say they also want an additional study done by the city staff about what other aquatic features can be used in the city, like pools at public schools. Board members also approved the Silver Lake Master Plan as it was presented. The plan will make updates to the trails surrounding the park, upgrade the skate park, and create a splash pad at the Silver Lake pool. Some board members did, however, criticize some parts of the plan.
The Silver Lake Loop is 20 feet wide. 20 feet wide. The shared path is 10. Pedestrian is 6. Boardwalk is 10. I mean, there's not going to be a whole lot of green space around there.
Also left out of the plan is the retention and replacement of the Silver Lake pool. However, staff say the city can choose to keep a pool in the future. Tyler.
All right, thank you very much, Alec. Now, long-term plans for Soldiers Field includes reducing the golf course to 9 holes, but for the next 5 years, the course will still have 18, and the next park board meeting will be on November 1st. And Rochester City Council members approved next year's budget for Destination Medical Center, that's better known as DMC. Council members approved more than $3.9 million for DMC's operating budget. Now that money will go towards administration costs, money for the Economic Development Agency, project management costs, and much more. An additional $48.2 million was also approved for DMC to go towards the Link Rapid Transit project, HVAC improvements at the Chateau Theater, as well as projects like Discovery Walk. Now, according to Rochester's Deputy City Administrator, the budget would have gone back to the DMC if the council did not approve it last night.
We would have brought those items back to the DMC board for their concurrence and then brought it back to City Council. So it would have been, we would have made sure that we would have gone back to the DMC board for their concurrence and support of those suggested changes.
And the upcoming City Council meeting for Rochester will be on October 17th. Let's get you this live look over downtown Rochester tonight. Currently around 56 degrees. Temperature definitely dropped in the last couple of hours.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And it looks like there's some rain on the way.
Yeah, not too far away. We got some rain west of I-35. That's going to make its way in for tonight into the day tomorrow. We're looking at those cool temperatures, though, here for now, and eventually going to be talking about some even cooler temperatures as we go through the rest of the work week. We are looking at temperatures going into the 50s to lower 60s for the moment. But as we look at the radar, you can see there is a bit of activity here west of I-35 there around Mankato. Back towards Marshall, Minnesota, some more rain into North Iowa, and all this is building to the east. And what's going on is we have an area of low pressure. You can kind of see the spin there across parts of South Dakota. That area of low pressure with a trailing cold front is going to build its way into the area for the day tomorrow. So what that means is scattered showers, of course, but eventually tracking some cooler temperatures. Right now, we got 50s to lower 60s here across the area, but looking ahead to tomorrow, we are tracking the chance for some scattered showers, highs into the upper 60s, but then it gets a lot cooler as we get into your Thursday and Friday, and I'll have a look at that forecast and the next 7 days coming up here in about 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Aaron. The Republican nominee for Minnesota governor repeated a hoax about students who identify as animal characters, also known as a furry, and use litter boxes to go to the bathroom in schools.
But what about education? What are we doing to our kids? Why are we telling elementary kids that they get to choose their gender this week? Why do we have litter boxes in some of the school districts so kids can pee in them because they identify as a furry? We lost our mind.
So that was GOP gubernatorial candidate Dr. Scott Jensen repeating the baseless internet rumor that has been pushed by a number of Republican legislators. Jensen's campaign has yet to comment on this. Now, the unfounded rumor has been repeatedly denied by various school officials who have had to continuously dispute the false claims. The hoax is believed to have originated from a community member at a school board meeting in Michigan and has been repeatedly proven to be a false claim. Extensive safeguards will be in place for the midterm elections. That's according to the FBI, which says any efforts by hackers to breach election infrastructure are, quote, unlikely to result in large-scale disruptions or prevent voting. The advisory was issued just 5 weeks ahead of the November election, and it's aimed to combat claims that U.S. elections have been manipulated through hacking, which were proliferated after Donald Trump's 2020 electoral defeat. The Glencoe Police Department is asking for your help in finding a missing woman. Treasure Robinson, who you see here, is 5'8" and weighs around 350 pounds. She has black hair, brown eyes, and as you can see, wears glasses. Robinson was last seen on September 17th in Glencoe. Law enforcement believes she may have met someone online and maybe in the Twin Cities area, but aren't for sure. So if you know anything about Robinson's possible location, you are urged to contact the number that you see right here on your screen. That's 320-854-6531, or you can also dial 911. The Rochester Police Department is investigating after several catalytic converter thefts over the weekend. 5 converters from 3 U.S. Department of Agriculture trucks were stolen in the 3500 block of 9th Street Northwest, and the loss is totaled to be around $12,000. A converter was also stolen from a 4th truck in that area, and that one belonged to Freedom Medical. Olmsted County reached a decision today following the release of a regional racism report. A study by the Human Rights Commission and the Public Health Services Advisory Board confirmed that racism is a public issue. This morning, board members voted unanimously to accept recommendations brought forward in the report to make living in Olmsted County more equitable. Denise Daniels reflects on the decision and what it will mean for the area.
I think we're excited, to actually put some action in place to ensure that all of our residents and staff that utilize our services here with the county have a path that's going to allow them to reach their full potential, right? And it starts with health and being able to remove those barriers to social determinants of health, things such as housing, right? Equal access and opportunity to good health, et cetera, to improve on those decades of systems and policies that have created the inequities.
The board aims to address systemic discrimination in areas like healthcare, housing, and financial aid. The Forest City Electric Department is celebrating Public Power Week this week, along with more than 2,000 other non-for-profit electric utilities providers. The week is meant to highlight the benefits of public utilities as well as help customers understand how they can better engage with their utility company. The Forest City Electric Department has 9 employees with a 20-megawatt power plant and 2 substations that serve over 2,000 customers. The department says they're proud to provide reliable and affordable power to its customers. Well, U.S. home prices continue to fall. According to new data from analytics company Black Knight, July and August saw the largest single-month price decline since January of 2009. And this comes as inventory stalls. Potential sellers aren't putting their houses on the market. Black Knight says they might be waiting to see if demand and prices kick back up. Potential home buyers are also holding off as interest rates rise. Right now, the market has 600,000 less listings than it did pre-pandemic. Still ahead, the man who killed a Twin Cities father during a road rage incident has been sentenced today. We'll have his sentence and the family's reaction to it. And more than 130 mental health workers were striking outside of the Abbott Northwestern Hospital as part of a 3-day effort. What they're striking for and how the hospital is responding, coming up next.
KIMT News 3 at 10. Your local news with KIMT News 3's Tyler Yutzka. Tracking storms with Storm Team 3 Chief Meteorologist Aaron White. This is KIMT News 3. More local news that is happening right now. We are coverage you can count on. We track storms to alert you first. This is KIMT Storm Team 3, weather coverage you can count on.
Let's get you an update on the forecast now with Chief Meteorologist Aaron White. You take a quick drive anywhere, you quickly notice all the changing leaves.
Yeah, pretty much. I was driving through town today, and I actually went over to IBM Park and saw some of the nice colors that we had in the trees here in the Med City and all across the area. Yeah, you don't really have to go too far to see a lot of color here. Just nice sign of fall, and we got some nice photos sending to us from across the area. The first photo on the left coming in from Monique, that was from Forest City, nice red and orange there in the trees. Also another one from Mary, that one coming in from Alden, Minnesota, just west of Albert Lee. We had some nice orange in the trees there as well, a little bit of red, and another one from David from Riceville. Just beautiful colors here across the area. And if you have any cool photos that you would like to share, you can always submit them on our website at KIMT.com. You can also email them to weather@KIMT, and we'll of course show them here as we go through the fall season. And as we talk about the fall color report, it is starting to get a little bit more filled in here in southern Minnesota. This report coming in from the Minnesota DNR. We are still also seeing similar conditions in North Iowa. The report, though, showing at least 50 to 75% change here in the orange, right around Austin, Albert Lee, and near Rochester. So generally, most of us are seeing about 50% change here in southern Minnesota and North Iowa. Where we are taking a live look over Mason City, looking there at Central Park. It is dark out, but there is some color in the trees at Central Park. I saw that earlier today on our live eye. Temperatures are into the lower 60s right now, 61 degrees for you in Mason City. Wind is out of the south at 9 miles per hour. And as we look live over downtown Rochester, a little bit cooler, 55 degrees, and more clouds are going to start to build in overnight tonight. Right now we are looking at clear to partly cloudy skies, but by tomorrow morning as you're heading out the door, we'll see cloudy skies and a very slight chance for a rain shower. I know right now it's showing about 0%. I think the rain showers are going to be happening before 7 a.m. So if you're waking up earlier in the morning, there may be a couple rain showers as you're heading out the door. Otherwise, the better chance of rain showers, that's going to hold off until tomorrow afternoon, because a lot of the rain that we're going to see for tonight into tomorrow, well, that's going to happen before about 6 a.m. We have the rain showers there west of I-35 now, so not too far away, and they will start to move in through the overnight hours, clearing out for most of the morning, and then some more rain showers expected by the afternoon. All of this because of an area of low pressure spinning there across South Dakota. That is also has a trailing cold front, and as that cold front begins to work in, it's going to clear the rain out, but also bring in some cooler temperatures for your Thursday and Friday. So here's how we look on Skytracker 3. We got the rain showers there near I-35 right now. Going to start to build in through the overnight hours, so by tomorrow morning kind of falling apart. So most of the morning I think will be dry and maybe a little bit of sunshine, but then scattered showers are expected as we go through the afternoon into the evening before we get some drier weather for your Thursday and Friday. Rainfall amounts not much, honestly, as many of us will see under 1/4 of an inch as we go through the next couple of days. 7-day forecast with a weekend is always in view, showing the cooler temperatures, highs only in the upper 40s on your Friday. We get some sunshine though, so we're looking pretty good to finish off the work week, and more sunshine as we head into the weekend.
Thank you, Aaron. All right, now let's see what you can expect tomorrow morning with Annalise Johnson.
Tomorrow morning on daybreak, the city of Rochester is honoring a former city council president for his many years of service. We'll explain how and when. Join me for KIMT News 3's Daybreak tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7.
Well, more than 130 mental health workers from Alina were back on the picket lines today as part of a 3-day strike for a fair contract. And this comes as M Health Fairview reached a tentative deal after a marathon 12 hours of negotiations Monday night with its mental health workers, preventing hundreds from walking off the job. The new contract is for 1.5 years and includes an immediate 6% wage increase. There's also increased paid time off and new incentives to address staffing concerns. While it still needs to be voted on, union leaders are happy with the deal, while Alina health workers said they're at a standstill with their negotiations.
We are here because we are fed up with the greed at Alina Health, where Alina Health has said they're going to put profits before patients and before our livelihoods and our safety. We're sick of it.
In a statement, Alina said in part, quote, "While we have reached agreement with the union on most non-economic issues, including many workplace safety items, the union continues to push for wage and benefit increases that are unrealistic and unsustainable at a time when Minnesota health systems are facing significant financial challenges." And St. Paul just narrowed its pack of police chief candidates to a final 5. They include 4 officers that have served on the force for years and an outsider from Philadelphia. Mayor Melvin Carter says he believes the selection committee found the best candidates for the job. He also said selecting a police chief is one of the most critical decisions a community can make, and he is counting on St. Paul residents to play a major role.
Some public forums that we'll have in the coming weeks. We're going to be inviting residents to submit either feedback or potential interview questions. It's one of our highest priorities here right now, obviously, to get this done right. And so our hope is in the next several weeks at least to be able to have a final decision made.
Mayor Carter says the city's next police chief will be appointed for 6 years. Earlier this year, former Chief Todd Axtell stepped out of the role, and Jeremy Ellison has been serving as interim chief. The man convicted of gunning down a youth baseball coach in a road rage attack will spend the rest of his life in prison. Today's sentencing of Jamal Smith wraps up more than a year of waiting for justice by the family of Jay Boughton, who was shot and killed on Highway 169. The judge didn't really need any convincing for a life sentence, since Minnesota law mandates it for anyone convicted of first-degree murder. But even as the news today fell, it focused on Jamal Smith's future. The Boughton family insisting today and every day will always be about Jay.
Jay was light. We are light. God is light. We will stay in the light, and that light will not be overcome by darkness. And I know Jay's looking down from heaven saying, "I'm so proud of you, sweet. I'm so proud of you, Harrison. I'm so proud of you, Amelie."
Smith will be eligible for parole in 30 years. Still ahead, Hurricane Ian's death toll keeps rising as search teams are still working through all the destruction. We'll get you the latest from Southwest Florida. Plus, a counselor with Rochester Salvation Army will soon be deployed to help victims who lost everything in Ian's wrath. How she intends to help those in need following a year and a half of training. More than 100 people in Florida are dead from Hurricane Ian, and that number may rise as search teams are still trying to work through all the destruction. Ted Scouten is in Fort Myers with the latest.
Search and rescue operations are continuing nearly a week after Hurricane Ian ripped across Florida. Emergency teams with cadaver dogs have checked thousands of homes and rescued more than 2,300 residents.
There's massive destruction, wood pilings that we can't actually see under, and there are voids sometimes under there.
Officials say they are making progress restoring power, but it will be weeks before the job is done.
Every single minute, every hour, every day, things are flowing much better.
The debris is being piled high here in Fort Myers, like you see right here. A lot of times people coming back to their homes to find there's not much left to salvage.
The floors are ruined, the walls are down, the ceilings have all dropped down, the water level is above the roof. This is everything we could salvage. It's our lives.
The only road to nearby Pine Island was washed out.
Can we jump on yours?
Yeah, absolutely.
Residents who stayed through Ian are just getting back to the mainland, catching rides with the Coast Guard or kind strangers.
How grateful were you to get on that boat?
Wonderful.
Renee Swanson regrets her decision to ride out the storm.
It's horrible. Sat in the bathroom for 4 hours, a little bathroom in the condo, because the window broke, the doors broke out, and we had a constant flow of rain, glass, and shingles in my condo.
President Biden visits Florida Wednesday to meet with local officials, families, and first responders. Ted Scouten, CBS News, Fort Myers, Florida.
And according to the Lee County Sheriff, 4 people have been arrested for looting. And the Rochester Salvation Army is sending one of its counselors to Florida to help those affected by Hurricane Ian. Jessica Bradford will be sent to Fort Myers to help victims emotionally and spiritually. The Salvation Army is currently serving disaster victims in Florida as well as Puerto Rico, providing meals, water, social service, and helping with cleanup efforts. Bradford, who has worked as a drug and alcohol counselor, talks about what she's expecting.
In crisis, a lot of times is not having your basic needs being met, such as food and shelter, exactly what these people are experiencing in Florida right now. So working through that, trying to establish, some of those basic needs for them is really a big step. The other piece of that is if people are, suicidal, we are able to refer them on to professional help with a professional in the area.
Bradford has been training for her first deployment over the past year and a half. She also says she's thrilled to get out and put her training to good use. And tonight we remember country music legend Loretta Lynn, who died today at her home in Tennessee. She's known as the Queen of Country Music, and her career spanned more than 70 years, with her signature song being Coal Miner's Daughter. That's a song about herself. Loretta Lynn was 90 years old. All right, well, Mary is here now to tell us what's coming up in sports.
Yes, Tyler, it was another fun night for sports. Girls and boys soccer teams competed tonight. I have those games to tell you all about. Plus, the Century Panthers volleyball team hosted the Mayo Spartans. I have highlights from that match next. Well, it was another fun sports night tonight. I did not want to leave any of the games I went to, so let's start with volleyball. The Century Panthers hosted the Mayo Spartans tonight. The student sections were ready for this one, and Century got off to a hot start, but the Bears had answers. Madison Meyer with the kill right there. The Bears extend this set, and then Meyer places that one just perfectly again. Century leads 24-19, and then this one right here. This is the dagger in the first set. Take a look at that. Paige Decker, and it bounces off Hannah Hansen's shoe. The Panthers win the first set, and the Century Panthers win this one in 5 sets. And here's a look at some of the other matches tonight. The Rushford-Peterson Trojans won in 3 sets over the Houston Hurricanes. The Zumbrota-Mazeppa Cougars squeaked by with a win over the Cassamanerville Comets 3-2. And in North Iowa, the Rockford Warriors won in 3 sets over the North Butler Bearcats. The Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears shut out the West Hancock Eagles 3-0. And switching to soccer, the Byron Bears made the trip to Rochester to take on the Lord Eagles. Both teams came into this one with a 3-2 record in conference play. This one was scoreless for most of the game, and I was there until about 12 minutes left, and it was still scoreless. Lord came away with a 1-0 win over the Bears. Well, let's games tonight. The Cassamanerville Comets won in a close one over the Stewartville Tigers 1-0 in overtime, and the John Marshall Rockets knocked off the Houston Packers 2-1. And then on the girls' side, the same matchup as the boys, the Lord Eagles hosted the Byron Bears, and both teams were undefeated coming into this one, and that would change tonight. The Bears and the Eagles scored early and were all tied up at 1, but Byron got the final say, getting the 2-1 victory over the Eagles and becoming the Hiawatha Valley League champs. Congrats to the Bears. And on the girls' side, the Red Wing Wingers knocked off the Albert Lee Tigers 4-1. The John Marshall Rockets got the win over the Austin Packers 2-1.